Hi guys, this is going to be the tutorial to show you how to make this real basic but beautiful scrunchie. And I'm going to be doing this tutorial like a beginner's tutorial because there's a lady who is doing a fundraiser who asked me to make a scrunchie for a fundraiser. So I've been decided to make all kinds of different kinds, but this is going to be basically for her because she said she's a beginner. So all you need for this project are one color or two. If you want to have a border, then you'll need a second color. But this can be made with one color, so it's up to you. But what you need is 10 ply. I'm not 10 ply. 10 ply is regular waist weight yarn. For this, you're going to need 8 ply or lower. Sport yarn or something like that works the best. And you're going to need a 3.5 millimeter hook. You can also use a little smaller than that too. You can use 3 or even 2.5 or 2. I don't know if they make 2.5. Probably do. Anyway, so choose the color that you want for your main one. Also, you're going to need a rubber band. The other ones I got didn't have this metal piece, but this one, unfortunately, they do. So it's going to give me a good opportunity to show you how to work around them. So what you want to do is get your rubber band and your 3.5 millimeter hook. And to make your slip knot, fold your yarn in half like that. Then grab and twist over so that you have, a bit of tail over this main part of the yarn. Then grab your hook, fold it in half like that to make a pretzel. Come back here, pretzel. And then you take this yarn that's under the loop. You take that and you pull it up. There you go. Put that underneath there. Now you can grab your little tail here and your main part of your yarn and just pull. And to know if you've done it right, if you pull your main part of your yarn and it tightens up like that, then you know you've done it right. And if you pull on it and it doesn't, it's like a knot, then you need to redo it. It needs to be able to, if you pull your small yarn, get open, and your big yarn is supposed to tighten. And that's how you make a slip knot. Now, to get it around the rubber band, I usually start on this left side of the metal part. And all you're going to do to get your yarn around this rubber band is to single crochet. And if you don't know how to single crochet at all, I suggest going to my Learn to Crochet tutorials, basic learning tutorials, and learn how to single crochet first, because it's so much harder to do it on this. So when you're ready, put your hook through the rubber band, grab some yarn, pull up so that you have 2 loops on your hook, grab yarn, pull through both loops, just like that. That's the first single crochet that's connected you now to the rubber band. Now I usually hide my tails. If you're a beginner, don't even worry about it. Just continue by putting your hook through the rubber band, pull up a loop, and pull through 2 loops. And continue to do this all the way around until you have covered your rubber band. And the more stitches that you can get on here, the better. But don't do it to where they're so tight that the rubber band is actually morphing itself. Just get it, where nice, tightness around the rubber band. And once you're done, I'll meet you back here and at the end of this round. And I'm back up here to my little metal part I was telling you about. And as you crochet, you can pull your stitches down your rubber band to make it tighter. As you can see, it's nice and tight without being too tight. The rubber band isn't being morphed or changed or warped. And when you get to the metal part here, just continue to single crochet. Just got my loop a little tight, a little long. Just continue to single crochet over that metal piece. You can hold on to it. It's difficult and tries to get stuck and whatnot, but we can always push the stitches over once you get on the other side of it. Just do a few and push it over. I think it's covered good. I think the whole thing is pretty much even now. I think I'm ready to start the second round. To start the second round, first off you want to start by single crocheting. This is the first stitch of the previous round. So I just want to put my hook into that first stitch, grab some yarn, pull through that stitch, and pull through the loop that was on your hook. And that's what's called a slip stitch. Now you want to chain 2. And then now we're going to be doing double crochets. And if you don't know how to do a double crochet, I also have a learning tutorial to show you how to do that. So learn how to do it first, and then you can continue with this project. You want to yarn over, go into the same stitch that you have your, this is the stitch I'm talking about, and there's your chain. You want to go into that stitch there and do 2 double crochets into that stitch. And it doesn't matter how many stitches that you manage to get around here. So don't think I forgot to tell you, because there is nothing to tell. As long as it's like this, it's not too tight, you're good. Anyway, now the second stitch, you're here. Now the next stitch to the left, you want to do 3 double crochets into that stitch. It's 1, 2, and 3. Following stitch, again, do 3 double crochets. And you want to continue to do 3 double crochets in each stitch around, all the way until you get back up to the beginning again. Each stitch, put 3 double crochets inside of it. And I'll meet you back here at the end. Okay, I just reached the end of my round here. And if you have little places that are maybe bunched up more than others, this is the time to move your stitches around and even it up on your rubber band. And if you don't want a really thick scrunchie, I have thick hair, and I usually like to wrap my rubber bands around at least 3 times. And with something like this, it can be very difficult. I may be only able to get 2. I haven't tried it. Maybe it would be enough, but I don't know. But also, if you're working with a little kid, this may also be too big to fit their hair inside of it because it's so thick. But the rubber band part that holds isn't thick. So I don't know. I haven't got a chance to try it on my daughter yet. But if you would prefer to have a smaller scrunchie, you can stop right here. And it's still beautiful. Or you can continue on and make it a thicker scrunchie. If you want to continue, go into this first stitch here and do a slip stitch again, which is just pulling through that stitch and pulling through the hoop that was on your hook. Again, you want to chain 2 and then go into that same stitch and put 2 double crochets. That chain 2 is counting as the first stitch. And again, the next stitch, you want to put 3 double crochets, and you want to continue to put 3 double crochets into each stitch, just like you did the previous round. and it's you're gonna have 3 times the stitches of this round, and it does use quite a bit of yarn, and you're going to be working in tighter and tighter little spaces, and your hand can cramp, but stay with it or put it to the side for a few minutes and stretch your hand out. It's definitely worth it, as you can see when you get to the end. So just continue all the way around till you get to the beginning again, and I'll meet you back here. Yay, we made it through it. Well, hopefully you've made it through it. We got to the end. Stretch out your fingers. Okay. Now, you can stop here if you want. Obviously, it's gorgeous just like this. Or you can add a little bit more detail by adding a color. Just know that whatever color that you add is going to show up the most, as you can see here. And you're not going to be able to see this main color as much. It looks cool though, because you can see there's another color underneath. But if you were going for the main color here, then don't put a border. I made one earlier for my daughter that was all white, and then I did a color around the edge. And it went better with what she was wearing, because I put like white here and then red on the outside, and she was wearing red. So it showed up, the red, because it was on the outside. So anyway, now that we've gotten to this point, slip stitch into this beginning stitch and chain 1 and cut your yarn. Now, if you're just going to stop here, then I would say hide your tail. But if you want to add another color on the end, and I'm not sure that I want to add a color on this one, but I'm going to still show you how to add it if you want. All you do is slip stitch into the stitch to the left of where you cut your yarn, keeping the tails together. Pull up a loop and then pull through both loops. That's your first single crochet. And then you want to go to the left, pull up a loop, and do a single crochet, and continue to do a single crochet in every stitch all the way around this thing. When you get to the end, you slip stitch into this beginning stitch, chain 1 and cut your yarn. And that's going to be the tutorial to show you how to make one of these. I think simple. It takes a lot of work, but the stitches are simple, but it comes out looking beautiful. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial, and I'm going to be doing more tutorials on scrunchies, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like this video.